A church where God's presence is prized and where God is enthusiastically worshipped with genuine freedom for men and women to worship publicly in the Holy Spirit, to use spiritual gifts and to participate in body ministry.
I've heard you say before that another thing that can help the congregation to encounter God is the use of spiritual gifts throughout the worship. That the worship, there should be an expectation that the worship will at times be, as it were, interrupted with contributions, and that those can help bring us into the presence of God.
Yeah, I think that spiritual gifts, interesting you say the word interrupted. It's a good word, interesting word. I think it's when it seems a thing is actually interrupted that it kind of throws us a bit. So timing is a very, very important part. And I think that being sensitive to the moment is a key thing. In these days, you find often there's a microphone at the front, someone anchors the meeting. I have very mixed feelings about that personally, but it is taking responsibility. It's trying to say, look, let's be careful, because sometimes people are not so sensitive. They may have something from God and they're so excited, I've got something from God. They're not maybe got the maturity, the shepherding heart like the pastor would have, or one of the elders who's looking after the mic, and he can be more sensitive to the needs of the flock and hold, well, just not yet, and so on. That's, I think it's perfectly okay. But I think that it says in the Bible, the others will weigh. The danger is sometimes when you prophesy, having got the okay for the mic, it's like it's already weighed, which just slightly troubles me. But I think that we are saying that there should be a kind of a flow. I think for myself, sometimes people are quick to prophesy before we've started really worshipping, really encountering. And so for myself, I'm looking for some songs of encounter for a while before prophesying starts to happen. Though someone very gifted may come in early that helps you to encounter God. I think that some are insensitive and will quickly come and speak down to the people. Any prophesying like that is negative. Anything that kind of attacking, all prophecy is for encouragement, exhortation, comfort. It's to lift us up, not to put us down. And so, yeah, we're looking for those kind of gifts. But it's when you hear God's voice that it's absolutely amazing. You think, God spoke to me. And I've heard people baptized at the home church in Brighton who testify it was when someone prophesied in the meeting. I thought, wow, they know me. And I've had that experience myself when I was in the first church I ever encountered where gifts of the Spirit functioned, and prophecy that spoke right into my heart. I thought, God is in this place.
I mean, I think some might see that as a kind of one of your idiosyncrasies, that, oh, Terry likes, these meetings where God shows up. But actually, you think Paul described exactly that there'll be prophecy in a meeting, unbelievers will say, God is in this place. So how do we steward and cultivate spiritual gifts, mindful of the presence of unbelievers, all the while pursuing, encountering God, not just chasing gifts?
I think that often outsiders, if we want to call them that, people who have not yet met God, are fascinated by the supernatural, actually. Sometimes religious people who have had no exposure to spiritual gifts will think, oh, what's this? I don't have this in church. It's the religious who are offended. I think that people who've never encountered the supernatural are fascinated, and they're not often put off. And also, it's not difficult to explain what's going to happen. I love going to one of our churches in the Midlands where they start the meeting and they say, welcome to this meeting. During it, people will take part. And during the meeting, you will hear people read scriptures, pray. Some will speak out things they feel God is saying to them. And so before it ever happens, they've prepared the people. This will be this kind of an event. And usually guests are in at the beginning of a meeting. Sometimes our own people are a bit late. But that's being said. And I see, so things will happen. That's great. What's your problem? There isn't one.